Okay, we've just gone 12 o'clock, so I might get started right on time for this webinar. Thanks to everyone who has made it today. We've had teachers register for the webinar. We've had a lot of people from the local learning and employment networks, and we've even had some agricultural industry members here too today, which is wonderful because Race Victoria, which we're launching, is absolutely a multi-stakeholder project. We know a lot of people are already doing great work when it comes to raising aspirations in career in education and agriculture. And our aim is always to try and use our programs to value add to whatever you're doing in your region or with your community. So really excited to talk more about the opportunities that we'll have on offer with the project today. So I just thought I'd start by going over what is Race Victoria. Well, it's a program that's funded through the Victorian state government with the Raising Rural and Regional Student Aspirations program. So there has been a prior round of funding under this program, and we utilised that to roll out Race Gippsland. We have also found funding to roll out a version of this project under Race Goulburn. But we're so excited now to be able to take this to the next level and roll this out statewide to all of Victoria. So our goal is to provide engaging experiences that increase students' understanding, confidence, interest, and motivation for pursuing a pathway to one of the many different careers in the world of agricultural work. So the objectives of Race Victoria are to increase learning opportunity, access to learning opportunities in agriculture, and improve students' knowledge of those future pathways and career options in the ag industry, and really trying to, I guess, enhance those engagements and connections with the agricultural industry and community. So really sort of, I guess, bringing together all those different stakeholders I mentioned at the start of the Zoom to work to give students those really wonderful experiences. Now, I just realised I haven't actually even introduced who I am, but my name's Nicole McDonald. I'm a Senior Research Officer in the Agricultural Education and Extension team. So we're an action research team based out of CQUniversity, which you may be like, what's CQUniversity doing down here in Victoria? Well, Race Victoria is the brainchild of our team leader, Amy Cosby, who you can see pictured there on the top left-hand corner of your screen. Amy wears many hats, but one of them is also as a dairy farmer in South Gippsland. So we definitely have a personal stake in trying to improve agricultural education experiences for young people across the state. And I guess our team works on a range of different projects. We really like to say that we're actively trying to build the talent pipeline to agriculture. And myself, I often work on a lot of workforce development projects. So sort of up that further end of the curve, down there looking at work culture or digital transformation of agriculture. But we know that talent pipeline starts early. We know, primary school students are already forming ideas around the world of work, and the more we can do to expand their understanding of the world of work to include careers in agriculture, the better. So why are we so focused on careers in agriculture? Well, we know that jobs in agriculture, forestry and fishing in regional and rural Victoria account for up to 20 to 46% of employment. So there is a wealth of opportunities in these regions. Agriculture is a really important part of ensuring that we have thriving rural and regional communities. And the more we can make young people aware of the opportunities that exist in their backyard, the more that we can ensure those communities are sustainable into the future. So while we know that 20 to 46% of those jobs are there, that's only the jobs that we can actually count based on labour market statistics. And we know that those kind of statistics do not account for a full range of jobs throughout the supply chain in agriculture as well. We know that students remain unaware of the diverse opportunities the industry offers for interesting and rewarding careers. And on this slide, you can see on the left-hand side, I've just pulled a little bit of data from our Race Gippsland project, where we asked students before they engaged in any of their activities with us to name 5 different careers in the agriculture industry. And you can see there that the careers are really strongly focused on those traditional careers that that perhaps are more visible to people, like being a farmer. And you can see the wide range of different commodities that are listed there, which is brilliant. But on the right-hand side, you can see a framework that's being used to capture more of those jobs that are available through the professional services sector, which still require students to have a real appreciation and understanding of the agriculture industry. And I guess, there are so many there in terms of science and technology, logistics, marketing, PR, human resources, banking, accounting, and all of those consulting kind of roles. So agriculture involves agribusinesses that are really complex, and there are a lot of different skill sets and interests that drive the industry forward. The other reason why we're looking into this, I guess I pulled some further data from our past Race Gippsland project, is that we know, a lot of students might say that agriculture is interesting to them, but we see that interest not necessarily convert into understanding what they could actually do that makes use of their career interests and what they're good at in the agriculture industry. And then that drops again when it comes to being interested in pursuing a career in the industry. And we've got this big clump of students in the middle who, neither agree nor disagree with some of these statements. And to me, what that says is that they're just unaware of what is actually what agriculture is sometimes, and what those opportunities are that are out there. I guess our concern is when we've got, interested in pursuing a career in the ag industry, 36% already disagreeing or strongly disagreeing. We just want to open them back up again to consider how what they're interested in could potentially map to a future career in agriculture. So our mantra is that there is actually an agricultural career that can match to every interest area. And by that, I mean, when we think about careers, we broadly think of the different types of skills used for different tasks and how these can transfer across a lot of different jobs. So before I get into any of our former findings from Race Gippsland, I thought I'd just touch on what activities we've got available as part of Race Victoria. So there's 3 central activities we've got here. We've got our Agri-tech roadshows. We're offering food and fibre industry school partnership programs, and then teacher professional development webinars. And I guess we have envisioned these to really be trying to connect teachers with industry. And I'll touch on the details of those a little bit more further. So if you're unfamiliar with what our team does, the Agri-tech Experience Roadshow is actually a really successful program that we've rolled out over, the past 4 years down in Victoria in different regions. We'll be rolling it out from term 3 this year. It's for primary and secondary schools from government schools, and they'll have the opportunity to participate in 2 hands-on activities that showcase science, technology, and business principles utilised in food and fibre production. So past sessions, we've included Fitbits for cows, where we've had students fitted with an accelerometer, and on an iPad, they've been able to track the movement of a cow. And we've had activities around milk sensors, so really testing all the different types of, animal milks or, nut milks, oat milks, those kinds of things to understand the nutritional content of them. We've utilised soil sensors to understand more about, the importance of soil in growing things. And there's a whole range of new ones that we're bringing to the region too. So each event can host up to 120 students. It is ideal for whole schools or grade levels. We do roll it out in smaller schools. So a couple of the smaller schools we've been to in different areas of the state, they might only have 50 students, P to 6. And what we might do is go visit that school in the morning and then arrange to visit another smaller school in the afternoon too. So, yeah, it's a really great taster for students. We will be running 20 roadshows this year. So if you are keen on that, at the end of the presentation, I'll give you a link to put in an expression of interest for us to come and visit with your students at your school. And then we've got our Food and Fibre Industry School Partnership Program. So these are a little bit more tailored, more for a class or a group of students in your schools. So, 25 to 30 students. We can look to make them bigger. And we do work with educators to try and tailor this to your students' learning needs. So we link up with local industry ambassadors. They can come from a range of different career pathways, and we'll be rolling out 10 of these with primary school students, 10 with secondary school students each year, so 20 programs in year per total. Typically, when we've designed these, they often start with an incursion, just to give students a little bit of an overview of some information, so that when we take them out into a workplace on an excursion, they'll have some questions prepared. They can make the most of the experience. But again, happy to work with you and your students to work out what might work best for them. Yeah. And then the third activity we have here is a teacher professional development webinar. So in our past programs, we have tried to run face-to-face full day kind of workshops. We were finding it really difficult to get leave to come out of the classroom or out of school and attend that kind of professional development. So with this rollout, we're really stepping into trying to deliver professional development and make the most of asynchronous learning as well. So, understanding that people can't always, like today, meet at a time and place together. And we need to make these resources available for people to access in their own time whenever they can. So in the past, we have run some of these sort of more online professional development sessions. I think going through COVID, we learned to really flex our muscle in that. And we'll be running 4 of those each year. I've got a couple of pictures there of some career panels we've run in the past. We're really happy to run them around tips for integrating activities into the classroom, lessons that you might be able to implement. We're really open to hearing feedback from you in terms of what you want to learn more about, or what would be useful for you to really integrate food and fibre concepts into your curriculum. Classroom educators are so powerful in careers education, because your students, you can talk to them about these kinds of things in ways that make sense for them and meet them where they are at with their development. So we're really all about supporting you to do this better as well. I thought I'd touch on, like, when we're designing our activities, what we're trying to kind of hit to have that student impact. And up here, you can see I've got a little model of career exploration and decision making that is really well validated with a lot of research behind it. And we know that what drives students' interest in careers and motivation to explore careers is whether they feel confident that they could actually be good at it or do well at it, and what they expect they would be able to obtain if they pursued that sort of career. And the way we're trying to get that information across is by providing them with opportunities to observe people, to be surrounded by mentors or people who can encourage them to, give things a go, for them to get some hands-on experience, and for these experiences to be really fun and interesting and really inspire that sense of wonder or awe that can make people feel motivated to want to learn more. So I thought I'd put a few photos up on some of what we've done with schools in the past. So, we're taking them out to workplaces to observe, what the world of work actually looks like. We're bringing in presentations into the classroom. We're taking them out of the classroom into their yard to try out things. We're trying to make it as hands-on as possible. And really, getting them having a great day. We want them to be able to look back or think about these experiences afterwards and think how fun it actually was, and that they want to learn more. So I thought I'd give a little summary too of what we were able to achieve with Race Gippsland. And this is like the tiniest little snapshot there, but just to let you know the kind of activities that I was talking about before, we did roll out over 2021 through to 2023. We had 2,286 students participate in Agri-tech roadshows. We actually delivered 58 food and fibre industry school partnership programs and delivered that to 976 students. We had 91 teachers participate in professional development workshops. And what we also learnt through our program delivery was that teachers were reporting the value they gained when they were in the classroom with us facilitating these kinds of activities. They were gaining connections with the industry partners that we were bringing on board, that could become part of their network for future work, and future education of other students, the following year and that sort of thing. So really keen to build strong legacy networks and provide legacy resources in this kind of program too. So when I was looking at our data and thinking, what might be interesting for us to have a look at here, we did have a selection of our food and fibre industry school partnership programs where we were able to data match entry and exit surveys. Now you can see here the sample is only around 100, and that can be to do with challenges in getting students to do surveys before the activity, whether it's not on the day in the classroom or after. But when we did data match some of these, we got students to rate their level of agreement with a series of statements around careers in agriculture. And we didn't see any change pre or post in terms of, lots of jobs in ag need people to do more study or training. I could earn good money working in ag. I believe the food and fibre industry is an important employer in Gippsland. And looking back at the data, I think that's because students were actually rating these quite high already. This was information that they already knew, and they already thought ag was pretty interesting. Where we did see the change following our food and fibre industry school partnership programs was really in that sparking their understanding that they could actually do something they were interested in and good at in the ag industry, and their statements around being interested to pursue a career in the ag industry. Overall, these significantly increased. And I did highlight one there that wasn't a significant change, but still interesting, in that students better understood that they could make a difference to the future of the world by working in agriculture. And I think it's really interesting that those statements to do with purpose or meaning, and that they could tie it to their own individual experiences, is where we were seeing that change. And I think that speaks to the power of this kind of program, and the benefit that we can add by becoming part of the work that you do with your students. So what do we need from you to participate? Well, we don't need a lot, actually. We just need you to organise the principal of your school to consent for your students to participate in the program and to participate in research activities. So we are an action research team. We do want to know how our experiences have impacted your students and yourself. We also need to know if you consent to a media release, and that's for some of our reporting back to the department. We also try and share photos of the experiences that students have had. Of course, if you can't consent to a media release, please, that's absolutely fine. But we just need to know that information from you. And one other thing I do want to mention, so all the activities are free. And with the Food and Fibre Industry School Partnership programs, that includes free bus transportation to an agribusiness of your choosing. So yeah, we think this is a real accessible kind of way to get students learning more about that world of work. So if you are keen, we would love you to put in an expression of interest. So I've got a little link there, and I might get my colleague Lily to pop it in the chat for everyone. It might be easier for you to click on there, but we're just looking for information from you as simple as, you know, your name, your school, the area that you're located in, which just helps us with logistics in considering potential dates we could come to you, which are the 3 activities you're interested in. And yeah, if you have any questions, please email us on ageducation@cqu.edu.au. Or that's my mobile number if you give me a call, and we can have a bit of a chat around what you're looking at, or yeah, what we can help you with further. So, but that's about it for me today. And I'm just keen to understand if you have any questions that I'm able to answer with you. So short, sharp webinar, but I don't think we've got any questions coming through yet. I might just stop sharing. Look, if we don't have any further questions, and we are recording this and we will be distributing it to everyone that did register. We might have one. Give me 1 second. Oh, can we send the expression of interest link again, please? Yeah, absolutely. What I'll do is I'll send that along with the recording of the webinar. And Lily might pop that into the Q&A for that person. So, yep. Let me just, I'll try and type it in here too. Isn't the Mornington Peninsula eligible to participate? So I am clarifying that at the moment. Please send through your expression of interest so we can have a closer look into it with you. My understanding is, yeah, we may be able to come down and roll out the program with your students. Yep. Wonderful. Yep. Thank you so much for that question, Angela. We're really keen to learn more. And I did see your email this morning. I haven't responded yet, but I'm really keen to chat further with you to see what we can do to value add to the program that you've got going down there. Are we available to attend existing events, for example, careers expos? That's a really great question, David. So what I would say is when we're delivering the kind of activities that we do deliver, we kind of need a controlled environment. So the Agri-tech roadshow activities, for example, run for half an hour to 45 minutes. And we would generally want students to participate in 2 of those. So it depends on how you run your career expo, whether we can or not. But generally, we would prefer to come in as part of a day. Just to give you an example, but we have participated in a bit of a STEM expo that some of the LENs have organised in the past. So with the Gippsland East LEN, they organised a rolling kind of STEM expo. They had other exhibitors involved in that, and we were able to tap into that existing event and deliver 2 hands-on science activities for students in that kind of expo. So it really kind of depends on the event. But if we can't attend, what we could potentially do is help connect you with other industry members who would be able to and make those direct connections with your students too. So I hope that answers your question, David. Really great one coming through there. Too sure. Awesome. Thank you. And so just a comment from Tim. Wonderful. Yeah. So, yeah, we have obviously worked with some of you in the past. As always, we're keen to kind of adapt our delivery to work in with any events that you do have there. So, thanks for your comment there, Tim. Really appreciate it. So, yeah, I think it's all about collaborating as best we can to really provide those great experiences for students. So, yeah, always keen. I don't think we've got any further questions coming through at the moment. I think that's all good. Well, if you think of any others, please just send them through. If you're watching the recording, please get in contact with us. And yeah, we're really keen to make this a great program over 2024 and 2025. So thank you everyone for making time for this one today. I really appreciate it.